If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed, and y'all shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener. Kai and Misery Business Finland Double Trouble birthday stream of Europeanness, bitches.
Okay.
All right, according to Metal Archive site, Vorna is a folk pagan black metal band, but this song, Tyhjyys on Tyyni, from their third album, Satait Palata Sa'avat, sounds more like Melodeath. Nevertheless, I really like the song, and it's my favorite from the album. All right. Only finished bands today.
Yes,
sir. Okay. All right. Now, the name of this song is called "The Void of Serene." The Void is Serene. That's a.
I like that.
That's a smart line.
That's good.
That's a smart line. The void is serene.
crazy.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yearns for less misery and turns away when the world burns. But does one gain any more peace of mind if he does not live according to reality?
I think the void is serene, yearns for less misery, and turns away when the world burns. Love the chorus, love the tremolo picking. Yeah, very satisfying.
The vocal style was great. I
Yeah.
loved both versions of it. I don't know what style it was, like the darker, grungier sounding stuff. I don't know what you would call it, but that one is definitely. I loved every version of vocals. The lyrics are crazy. Wow. It reminded me, the beginning reminded me of like when people, myself included, don't want to look at the troubles of the world because maybe you already feel like that you're, dealing with so much internally that you feel like looking at the problems of the world is just going to be too much. But I have a solution. Prayer is the solution for that. So he says, yearns for less misery and turns away when the world burns. But does one gain any more peace of mind if he does not live according to reality? I think no.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough balance. Somebody asked me about the Israel-Gaza situation. I don't know what the number is. I don't know if it's 14,000 people. I don't know what the number is. All I know is that literally every day I'm seeing kids getting torn to shreds, parents looking for their kids, all type of shit.
That child with the hands shaking. Oh my God.
Yeah, her body was going into shock.
No. I mean, I had an incense burning, and my kid touched the incense, and like that was wrecking me for a while because that was the situation. Can't even imagine these parents.
I have such a hard time with Western people who have never been in any sort of a life-threatening situation, who have never met the people in the region, don't understand even the Bible.
Oh,
you got I'm talking to this dude right now. He claims he just recently converted to Christianity, but he knows all this stuff about how the Israelis are justified in massacring these children because look at what this hadith says. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with a child getting torn to shreds? Oh, this hadith where Muhammad said XYZ. And? He's like, did you know that? I'm like, yeah, I knew it. What the fuck does it have to do with these little kids getting worked over here?
No.
And like, I don't know. I really don't know.
It's so crazy.
Because here's the thing that gets me with, because I always talk about like when Jesus would tell you like don't hit send. But I gotta tell you, man, like I have such a hard time being even like polite or friendly with people who can watch that happen to kids and just be like, whatever, Hamas is bad. And like, people say we can disagree about politics and be friends. Like, yeah, like yeah, okay, like, I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know.
The apathetic nature of Americans, man. Like,
yeah.
And so it makes me say to myself, like, if most of the time there's an active shooter situation, like I'm usually a wreck for like weeks. And I almost resent the people in my country for the way that we're able to just recover and just move on so quickly. But it kind of gives me like this mentality like, yo, we don't care about anything but ourselves, man. We can watch all this fucking carnage And we can just turn it off and say, yeah, it sucks to be them, and just keep it moving. So like in my darkest times, like I get really cynical about like everybody. I'm like all these. I just like you're almost speechless at the capacity for apathy in the human heart. It's just incredible. And so it's like I always say, like, we were never meant to see all this. We were never meant to see all of human suffering simultaneously.
Mm-hmm. But he wasn't talking about, like, because he said yearns for less misery and turns away when the world burns. Like, I don't think that you should look at every single situation that comes across Facebook. But when the world is burning, like what's happening over there, like there's that many people that are dying. Like, if in our state, like you're seeing everybody, you know, like Lewiston strong all over the place because we had an active shooter, and we had like, do you know the exact number of deaths?
It's 18.
It was 18 deaths, and like the whole city is turned upside down, and it's like the numbers are up so high, and there are children and everything, and like the apathy is. I agree. It's.
I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like I understand Ben Shapiro. You know, Ben Shapiro has articulated his racist views about Palestinian people for over a decade. So I understand him. But man, just garden variety American apathy to this shit. And any justification for it, like, you know, I said what I had to say, like, as far as emotionally about it, you know, in the other video. But, like, it's a real thing for me. Like, because I'm such an extreme personality, I'm like, sometimes I'm going to be, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I don't want to see this ever again. I don't want to fucking talk to these people. I don't want to. You know, there's some people where it's like, yo, I know if I say this right now, that they'll be so hurt that unless I go to them, like, me and this person will never talk again. And I'm like, yo, I'm good with that. Fuck this person. But it's like, for what?
Yeah, well,
like,
I mean,
I don't even, I honestly, I don't even know what to do.
you have to pray for we got to pray for the enemy. Like, if you feel that person, we're supposed to pray as Christians for our enemies. And I don't think that our people are our enemies, but I do think that their mentality and the hate that they have. I mean, the reason I'm saying hate is because I don't know how you can be so unfeeling toward these children in those situations. It's so bad. But I guess when you're talking, like, I pray for Palestine, you know, I pray for that, but I haven't prayed for that the compassion of our people would be increased, and that God would allow people to know what it's like, or to be able to be apathetic and caring toward other people, because that's like a really crazy place to be, that you can see all of that and not care.
I don't know how many days it was, like a day or two after the situation here, and we were driving. And we drove past the funeral home, and it was just fucking lined, you know, down the street, you know, because we got to bury 18 people. And, like...
It's not a lot of funeral homes in the state, you know what I mean?
But it was just... And it was crazy to me because, like, in the middle of an active shooter situation, I'm like, yeah, this is fucked up. But I sent a tweet, and I'm like, you know, the Gazan kids right now, like, this is...
many of them.
You know, like... This is like 4 hours for them. Like, losing 18 people, like, this is like 4 hours for them. And I'm like, looking how it shut down the entire city. Walmart, all these people were terrified of, like, even being open. You couldn't even go to a 7-Eleven. Like,
I can't even, like...
It's like, that's what it's like to be under siege with one guy. One guy can shut down an entire city.
Right.
And, like, these people
are scared.
These people are trapped. And then you hear your own countrymen saying the stupidest shit. Oh, there's 2 roads. And they're like, there's 2 roads. And you know, and it's like, Hamas won't let these people travel on the road. So if the civvies are dying, it's Hamas's fault. It's like, there's 2 fucking million people. Are you serious? You've got 2 roads for 2 million people? But Americans, like it's not that we're dumb, because Americans are some of the most intelligent people the world's ever seen. But we allow ourselves to be propagandized by people who are not even fucking trying.
Right, right.
Oh, so the reason all those civvies are dying is because Hamas won't let them go down those 2 streets? Are you fucking serious? In a city full of fucking 1.5 million, 2 million people? It's like, come on, man. You get Americans who'll complain about rush hour in New York City, and then in the same breath say, well, they could leave.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's ridiculous.
It's tough, and it just makes you, it just makes you understand, man. Like, you can, I don't know. I just, it was just like what happened in 2020, man. Like, I just had to stop watching the news, and I just had to stop talking to people. If there were people in 2020 that I didn't talk to, and it had nothing to do with, I don't like them, you know, it was that I was in, I was in such a state of mind at that point that, like, I couldn't even go to shopping without, like, a serious, like, you know, it's just tough. And it's tough, like, being disposed a certain way and being like, man, that's real easy to bomb a little kid, man.
Jeez.
Like, I was talking to one of these Israeli apologists, and I said, tell me the name of the captain of Hamas's Air Force. And he went back and forth talking all this shit. And I'm like, tell me the name of the guy of the guy who runs Hamas's Air Force. And he says, okay, I know that the Israelis killed him, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you are so full of shit. There is nobody in the Hamas Air Force. They don't have one, you fucking weird. So it's like, so what the fuck are you doing? Because this guy initiated this conversation with me because I posted one of the protests in Berlin. It's like, so he came after me, you know, as a Christian, why are you supporting these Muslims, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why did you sit there and lie? There is no guy at the head of the Hamas Air Force.
Right.
And he's like, well, that doesn't, I'm like, no, like, you sat here, you're coming after me, people are literally dying, and in your advocation for these bullies murdering these kids, you're talking about, man.
I gotta say too, I haven't even processed the deaths of the children because I am hung up on the fact that the bombings happen and kids are getting trapped. And my kid got his finger in the door and he was freaking out, freaking right out. And I scooped him up and I held him and I could feel him calming on my chest. I'm like, it's okay, and like, I was thinking about those kids, like, they're under rubble and people can't get to them. And like, as a parent, like, it's just so much, like, how does that entire region not get full of hate because of what's happening to their families? And how can the whole world just be watching and be okay with it? And so ignorant about it. I didn't argue back with him, but like, people that I studied the Bible with, like, we studied side by side, and you're like defending this.
And the same people that were crying over kids in cages, supposedly, don't give a fuck about these kids, bro.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's why I said, like,
why?
That's why I said, like, you guys have to understand, like, how this is coming across. Like, think about how the media has dealt with these conflicts in the last 3 years. So, like, all of a sudden, everybody's Ukrainian. And you get these people, and you get the newscasters saying, oh, man, these aren't Afghanis. These are people with blonde hair and blue eyes. And there was all this, oh, man, this is just a humanitarian issue. This is not. And we were saying, well, wait a second. What about the kids in Yemen? And people were telling me, well, that's whataboutism, Vin.
What?
So now you got these kids in Palestine getting fucking destroyed in broad daylight, fucking white phosphorus, all types of fucking war crimes and shit. And where are all the Palestinian flags on the people's Facebook? I'm in the United States of America. I don't know about you. I'm in the fucking United States of America. I'm seeing Ukrainian flags all over the place in my country. Like, what country am I in? Am I in Europe? Like, anyway, look, my point is, like, I'm really, really relating deeply to this song because it's a. I'm trying to figure out, man, like, you know what my problem is? I feel like all this protesting. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that publicly.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it publicly. It's just it's tough, man. It's tough because I got kids, man, and I don't understand like how people that have children like that should be it. Whatever your politics are, whatever your religion is, whatever your irreligion is, man, once you see kids getting like torn to shreds, like that should be it. And, you know, unfortunately, the world continues to prove that it's not because kids are weak and they can't defend themselves, man. So, fuck them. So this song is a really deep song to me right now. I really enjoy it. It's a silent count for me.
Same.
I hate to be so heavy on your birthday, guys. It's just
Like, you picked the song, so and you know who we are.
it's just really hard for me to sit there and watch this happen, man.
It's
Very hard for me. I feel like I'm betraying these kids by not doing anything, but those days are behind me, man.
so that's so your prayer. You don't feel that because you said I'm not doing anything. You don't feel like that's
Nah. Here's what I believe and what I feel like.
I mean, I hear you. If I was able to give like hospital aid, like if I could. Oh.
Yeah. Now I want to hurt the people that hurt those kids, bro. I don't want to give like. I want to hurt the people who hurt those kids. I want to hurt the person who did that to that little girl.
I understand.
I want to hurt those people. But there's a God in heaven. He's going to make everything right. And the fact of the matter is, I come from the nation that's enabling all this fucking bullshit.
Because we could stop.
You know, Christians, you ever wonder why, like, we're the country with all the active shooters and shit? You know, maybe God is punishing us. Maybe this is God just telling us we're responsible for these monsters and cowards that we have empowered. Shout out to Eminem. I'm gonna get out of here. Then out.
Sori out.
Motherfucker.
I feel like that the active shooters are supposed to also show us, like, you see how you feel, like, this is what they're experiencing on a friggin' million.
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't seem like the connection is being made. Like, I don't understand how come the color of your skin, or I don't understand how that's not computing, but oh my God, it's so sad. Anyway, we'll be back, you guys.
This band was, I mean, aside from the subject matter and all that, they're genuinely like a badass.
Did you see that?
Black metal band. What happened?
Hell posted that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
15 million children. I don't even talk about
5
black
million
people. I don't even talk about it. It's like, oh man, I don't know, man. All right, guys. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.